MLD, it's lovely to have you on the show. Thank you for coming on. How
Thank
are
you
you
for having
today?
me. I'm wonderful. I am honored to be in your presence, Crypto Princess. Thank you so much.
So, LMD, I know you, and a lot of the viewers will know you, but for anyone who's a newcomer, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm an online men's self-improvement coach, and I've been running something called the Masculine Empowerment Network on my channel, which is Modern Life Dating, all one word, on YouTube, since 2019. And I'm a live streamer, and I do live streams on my channel Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And certain months I live stream every single day. Um, I'm a cryptocurrency advocate, and I've been running a show called the Tokyo Crypto Show on my channel since 2019. The first half I had with one business partner, and that was season one. And now season two, we actually have a jam-packed panel.
Yeah.
We have a guy that's actually building mining facilities that's giving us mining data. We have the director of finance of a Fortune 100 company on our show who helps us understand things from a TradFi perspective now that the BlackRock ETF has been taken, the world by storm, and obviously the other ETFs as well, but the BlackRock one has been the most successful one. We have crypto developers on there. We have charting experts, and even Lou, Crypto Lead, who was on your channel recently, has joined us on the panel as well. So I'm a real big advocate in educating people on crypto, because crypto will be a part of everybody's life, whether they want it to be or not. And I do believe that it's the right thing to help people get involved in cryptocurrency, to educate them, because I believe the world is vastly undereducated in cryptocurrency. So that's a little bit about me right there.
Okay, awesome. So just before we get into your story, if I was to meet you in high school, what kind of person were you?
I was hanging out with the Asian kids. I'm a big fan of intelligent people. I love smart people. I like your content. You're clearly a very successful woman, and you're very intelligent. I could tell for sure. And so I just like to be around smart people. So I was hanging out. There's a large Vietnamese population in the high school where I grew up in Orlando, Florida. So I hung out with all the Vietnamese kids. We were building computers. We were, hacking our PlayStation to get free copies of PlayStation games. I'd always been a tech person. I also wrestled varsity, and I was in the military program, the Naval ROTC Academy in the high school. I was also involved in church a lot. I was acting pretty much from 15 to 18 in church in these like national competitions. When I was 16, I won the national competition in New Mexico, 2002 in Albuquerque. That was really cool. Always active, always happy. I'm a very optimistic, happy person. I don't like negativity. I don't like being around people who are, down in the mud all the time. Not really my cup of tea, really. But that's the kind of guy I was. Always active, happy. Life of the party, but not. Oh, I don't like to be the center of attention. I'm not that kind of person. I kind of like loathe people who try to be the center of attention. Like, I don't need attention. I just need to have a good time, be around good people. It's the kind of kid I was.
Okay, we have to discuss what you did after high school and when you got into cryptocurrency, because that's got a lot to do with actually your cryptocurrency journey, your crypto journey. So what were you up to after you left school up until late December 2026 2016 when you first got into crypto?
Okay, so I immediately went to community college, and I just didn't like it. I don't know. I had a lot of partying to get out of my system, I guess. I went for a year, wasn't really my thing. Like I said, I grew up in the church too. So I was like struggling with Christian guilt, because I was like having all this fun, partying, meeting girls, doing the whole thing that you do in America when you graduate out of high school. But then, my mom had a huge influence on me. Grew up in a single mother household. Love my mom. She's a great woman, strong woman. And she wanted me to go to school to be a pastor. And this kind of ties into later stories in my life. But I kind of did what she wanted me to do. I was in school. I was in the Pentecostal church growing up. And when I grew up in the church, it just had a real positive impact on me. I do believe church is a good thing for people. It instilled a
Mhm.
good sense of morality in me, a sense of doing the right thing, kind of like Robin Hood to a degree, not the trading platform, but like, you're Robin Hood from England. Um, so um, that made me get into this church pastor program, which is a year long. So I was in there for a while, and then it was in there, and there's this one, beautiful Mexican girl that took a liking to me, and she kind of seduced me, and we ended up being bad Christians together, breaking our vows to Jesus, and we got caught, um, and they kicked me out of the program. I was
Did they
pretty
kick
devastated.
her out as well? Or was it just you?
No, they so you want to know the real okay, so I'll tell you some of the details. So I was dating this girl beforehand. We had a very brief dating stint. And she was in the program and she resented me because I broke it off with her pretty early, right? And after fooling around with the Mexican girl, the other girl, she was noticing what girls can just pick up when two people have chemistry. And I wrote a letter to her and I was like, dear Vanessa, we can't do this. Like, what we're doing is wrong in the eyes of the Lord. And I gave the letter to her. Well, she lived in a girl's dormitory, and the other girl saw Vanessa reading the letter and stole the letter from her, read it, and then took that letter to the director of the program. And then the director, a couple days later, called me into his office and threw the letter down on the desk. He's like, I got to kick you out of the program. And I cried. I was devastated. I felt like the worst Christian ever. And then I went on like a 1 year bender. I was drinking, partying, going to raves, going to like these hippie meetups, and just having the time of my life. And then the summer of 20, when I was 20 years old, it was like 2006, I believe. Um, yeah, I had another come to Jesus moment. I was like, if I don't get my act together, I'm gonna be a poor peasant for the rest of my life. I need to do something myself. So I was fascinated with psychology, and I ended up going back to college, got my bachelor's degree, which usually takes 4 years, got it in 3 years, cranked it out. Um, but got my bachelor's in science. And the reason I got my bachelor's in psychology was really fascinated with human psychology. And also, I wanted to go to Japan. I wanted to challenge myself, but I was with a group of negative people that just wanted to sit around and smoke and play video games and do nothing with their lives, and they're still doing that to this day, by the way. A little lesson for the people, for the viewers at home. So they had kind of, that was the negative peer group I was in. I was kind of the black sheep of the group. They would always make fun of me, saying, oh, you want to go to Japan and eat sushi every day? You could never pull this off. So I graduated. I pushed my dreams to the side, and I did what they told me was the right thing to do. I got a corporate job. I worked at Aon Hewitt, British insurance company. Um, had phenomenal reviews. Was always getting 95 percentile on my performance reviews, but I was dead inside. I was a hollow shell of a man. I was deeply depressed, quite frankly, because I was just like, is this my life? Like, I was so young and full of hope and optimism, 26 years old. And I remember one day I was just like, so you're just going to live your life in the prison of other people's opinions? That's what you're going to do? And I was like, you know what, man, screw this. And I remember it was lunchtime. My manager was really beautiful one. And I remember I grabbed my keys on the desk. I grabbed my protein shaker and my protein tub, put it under my arm. I walked up to my beautiful manager. I'm like, hey, listen, I gave her a hug, kissed her on the cheek, and I said, I'm so sorry, I'm quitting. And I just left. The recruiter was calling me on the phone, like, you got to go back. You got to go back. We got to get her payment bonus for you. You got to stay at least 6 months. I was like, sorry, sorry, man. I got dreams to make here. I quit. And then I remember I got a job at a pizza place. I worked security at a nightclub, and I sold sofas on Craigslist to save up as much money as possible to go to Japan. So I started aggressively applying to all of these English teaching companies. And I sent out 300 applications about. For brevity's sake, 296 rejected me. 4 accepted me for an interview. I failed 3 out of the 4 interviews, and the worst English teaching company that went bankrupt a couple years before hired me, and I had made it, and I had fulfilled my dream of going to Japan. And I quit my job in in February 2012, and by November 2012, November 4th, I stepped foot in Tokyo, Japan, and began my journey of being an English teacher. Now, the promise I made to myself was I was going to stay as an English teacher in Japan 2 years, no support from anybody. You know, my mom didn't give me money. My mom was broke, and it was me on my own. It was really hard. It was really, really hard. Like the first 2 months, you know, you're in the fascination stage. You're like, oh my God, everything's so cool. Everything's so new. Everybody's Asian, you know. Japan is like a 98.6% Asian population. It is like one of the most homogenous societies on the earth. And it was really cool. But then after that, the culture shock set in. And I was reading about culture shock because, you know, it's part of your psychology degree. You have to read about these kind of human conditions that people go through. And I was like, that's not going to happen to me. I was like, I'm Jonathan. Like, me, culture shock, you get out of here. It happened. I had bad culture shock. I got a lot of anxiety. I would be biting down when I was sleeping at night. I would bite down so hard, I would wake up with like blood at the corner of my mouth because I was like biting so hard when I was sleeping. I was drawing blood. And it was so hard. And there was a time, Princess, that I wanted to quit, but I said, if I quit, I am going to go home and be humiliated by everybody. And I was like, dude, I can't. And I said to myself, so Jonathan, you talked all of this mess and you said you were going to do this. So you got to see it through. So, but things turned around. I ended up getting some nice part-time jobs. One job at Honda was paying me $80 an hour to teach their motorcycle engineers business English. That was good money in 2012. You know, $80 an hour. Those 2080, you know, those are 2012 fiat money. It's not the 2024 fiat money, you know? So that was good money. And then I started dating my manager at the English school. She was a real beautiful Japanese girl. She was the first Japanese girl I'd ever dated, done anything with. She was really sweet, really kind, really accepting. And but she had just signed a contract to go to Hawaii to work at this other company. So I just thought, yeah, I'll just date this girl. She'll disappear and whatever, it'll be fine. Well, you know, you start dating somebody and then you start catching feelings and you start texting them good morning and they're texting you back and you're feeling good. She had left and I got really sad. I saw her off in the airport and I was just like, but she wanted to do long distance. And I was like, I'm willing to give it a try. So she would call me all the time. We would Skype all the time. I went out and saw her in July of the summer of 2013, stayed out there for 3 weeks. It was an amazing time. She's had this nice company condo in this beautiful building in Honolulu, Hawaii, right down in the middle of Waikiki. Hawaii's a vibe. I don't know if you've ever been. It's amazing.
I'd love to go.
Yeah. Oh my God. I went 3 times this year. I canceled so many business things. I was like, sorry, I bought Bitcoin 2016. I'm going to Hawaii. Leave me alone. So I went out there with her, and then I came back to Japan, and it started to get winter. And so I'm from Florida. My mom's from Trinidad and Tobago. All I know my whole life is tropical climate. The first time I saw snow was when I was in Japan when I was 27, you know, like in December, the month after I first landed. So I knew we were coming back to December, you know, misery for the winter. So I just thought to myself at the time, I just turned 28. I was like, I'm 28, you know, this beautiful girl in Hawaii likes me, you know, what am I doing here? And I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go to Hawaii. And I broke my 2-year promise to myself, which we'll come back to that. So I broke my promise to myself and I packed up my bags and I went to Hawaii, and I got there at the end of December 2013. So it was cool to go there. I got a job as a taxi driver, was making good money. In 2014, there was no Uber in Hawaii. So the the money was good. I was making about $8,000 to $10,000 US per month. It pains me to this day that I didn't use that money to buy Bitcoin in 2014, but here we are. It led me to you, so I'm okay. I'd be on an island somewhere doing God knows what with God know who, but it was fun. She was a real conservative girl, and the real conservative Japanese girls, they date you the first year, and you kind of like make the decision if you're going to marry them or not. And she was kind of pressuring me to 9 months into the relationship to like marry her and have children. And I just wanted to be more financially secure. I wanted, because, it's a big burden, because I grew up in a single mother household. And so like not having money was a real devastating thing for us. And I was like, I just do not want my children to go through that at all. So I just told her, no, she didn't take it the right way. She started getting a little upset with me. She felt betrayed, but it was just a miscommunication between the cultures. So I ended up breaking up with her. She moved out. And because we moved out of the place to another spot, and then she moved out, and then I was in Hawaii on my own, and I was going to stick it out for a while, but Oahu is a very small island. It's 44 miles long. And I was like, I'm not just going to be a taxi driver in Hawaii. This is not what I'm going to do with my life. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go back to Japan. I'm going to fulfill my promise to myself. I'm going to go and I'm going to continue my 2-year challenge. So January 2015, I touched down. I went to the west coast of Japan. I went to Osaka, Japan. And so I was in Osaka, and it was fun. It was cool. I stayed there for a year, but then my mom asked me to come back because she had some trouble. She needed my help. And she had this condo that she really couldn't get properly rented out to people. And I felt really bad for her. And I was like, okay, I'll go back. And I knew I was breaking my promise to myself again to stay there for 2 years. But I did it. So March 2016, I went back to America. And it was cool. I'm a Donald Trump fan from the beginning, before he was president, before he even ran for presidency. Before he ran for presidency, everybody in America loved him. That's what also kind of like shifted my perspective about things, like the mainstream media, the government, the Federal Reserve. They're all big, kind of Illuminati, if you will, that really don't want people to be free and don't want people to be thinking for themselves. So I saw all that. So it really opened my eyes about a lot of things. And in 2016, I was watching a Japanese anime called Ajin. And there's a group of these little terrorists in the anime. And one of the guys, they were able to like buy some fake credit card information to do some like terrorist activity. And he's like, one of the characters like, how are you able to buy, stolen credit card information? And the guy says, oh, it's easy. I just use cryptocurrency on the internet, and I anonymously purchased some stolen credit card information and bought all these things. And I was like, cryptocurrency? I was like, what is that? I was like, that sounds cool. So I got on the internet, started looking around, which led me to finding about Bitcoin. And I bought my first Bitcoin when Bitcoin was $800 in December of 2016. Now, I wasn't paying attention to it because I was so confused and I didn't know what I was doing. It was so hard to buy Bitcoin back then. It was like all these, dark web websites and all this like sketch stuff you had to go through. I don't even know how. I don't remember the website or whatever, but I remember I bought it in December 2016. I was not happy being in America, so I decided I was going to go back to Japan. And I went back to Japan in March of 2017. And I had forgotten the Bitcoin at the time. I was paying attention to the Trump presidency and all these things. But one thing I noticed was the TradFi markets, similar to now, after Trump got in office, the stocks were roaring. There was a lot of positive publicity around this. And then I checked my Bitcoin balance in March and I was like, oh my God. And the $800 Bitcoin that I had purchased in December of 2016, it was now, it had, like I said, it didn't have that big of a jump, but for me, it was huge because in March it had gone up to $1,000.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God, something I bought just gained a value and I did nothing. And then, in May, it like ran up to 3,000 and 2017 bull run, it just kept going up. And during that 2017 year, Tokyo was actually a real big hub for cryptocurrency. So I started going all these local meetups. I ended up meeting Roger Ver. Roger's a really cool guy. Um, I ended up meeting CZ of Binance at this small local meetup. And this was like when because he was launching OK Coin, and I was like, oh, you're the OK Coin guy? He's like, yeah, I'm also the CEO of Binance. I was like, no, you're not, and I was drinking with him and like smacked him on the shoulder. I was like, no, you're not. You're not the president of Binance. And he's like, no, really, I am. Really, I am. Come to find out he was. And I met Vitalik Buterin as well at an Ethereum event.
Yeah. I love Vitalik.
Yeah,
Like, he's my favorite person in crypto. I love Vitalik. I'm
I'm
like
a
a sailor. But there you
I
go.
was gonna say I'm a big Michael Saylor guy. I like
Yeah.
Michael Saylor. I like his he doesn't care at all about, and he
But I
just
don't like that he's buying all the supply up. I mean, just leave a little bit for us. For just anyone who's not aware, the 2017 bull run, it was my favorite bull run. I think it's your favorite as well. It literally started in, like, say, in January to 2017. It started at $1,000. Bitcoin was $1,000, and we have this really cool chart that literally just goes up like this, like a hill, up until December, where it hit 19,000 US dollars. It was absolutely amazing. 2017 was the first time that institutions were starting to come in and trying to get into, well, they were getting into cryptocurrency, because we had the ICOs. Now, they were the hype of the 2017 bull run. And a lot of people made a lot of money on the ICOs, and there was a lot of really good projects. However, just like with everything in all different markets, and especially in cryptocurrency, there were a lot of poor projects and a lot of scams. And what happened was, towards the middle to the end part of 2017, the SEC came in to start to investigate all the ICOs.
Yeah.
And then that's what led Bitcoin to kind of slide into a bear market. Can I just quickly ask, in 2017, when you first got into crypto, who was helping you?
Nobody. It was just me. It was me and YouTube videos, and I'm the kind of guy that when I'm into somebody or I'm into something, I'm all in. I'm either 100% or I'm zero. And I had just seen the mathematical sense that Bitcoin had made. And as a poor guy who'd come from nothing, I was watching this, and your profile showing you your money going up every day, that's gonna force you to pay attention, right? And just like I'm paying attention to the all-time high right now, which is, we're making history on your channel yet again here. I love it. 94,442 right now. So just puts a smile on my face. So I just was, an animal. I was just reading stuff nonstop. I was working at this corporate job, and at the time, Cardano just came out, and I remember I wanted to read the white paper, so I was at work and I clicked the print button, right? But I didn't realize that it was like 70 pages long. So like this document was printing at the printer, and the printer was right next to the managing director. He's a British guy, actually, and a great friend of mine to this day. He gave me a chance. He's a great guy. And I remember picking this up. He's like, mate, what's this all about? I was just like, it's something. I just need this document. So sorry. And I was, reading the white paper. Incredibly confusing. Obviously, I'm not a big Cardano fan now, but at the time, I was just like, just Ripple went up to $3 during that run. Ripple's never seen that kind of price action to this day.
Yeah.
So I was just totally fascinated. Roger pointed me in the right direction as well. I studied him, studied his take, And then I actually got Bitcoin Cash because that's when the Bitcoin Cash fork happened. So
Mhm,
on top
mhm.
of that, I was like, oh, wow. And then, they sent it over to the Koreans and they ran it up to $3,000. I actually got out at $3,000.
Yeah,
So
'cause
I
a
had
lot of
all the,
people, yeah, a lot of people lost a lot of money on that, Bitcoin Cash, because it went straight down after that.
yes, it has yet
You're
to
very
rebound.
lucky. Well done. Well done for cashing out. Just
Y-
very quickly, after obviously the 2017 bull run, we had the 2018 bear market, which obviously there was a huge amount of FUD in the 2018 bear market because the SEC was coming in. A lot of the scams, a lot of the ICOs were proven to be scams or very poor projects.
Yeah.
Um, did you take profits of in the 2017 bull run? And did you understand that there was a difference between a bull run and a bear market? Were you able to adjust your portfolio?
Sad to say, I lost everything. But the the character of running your bag up to $60,000 and then losing it all is priceless. It develops the character you develop is priceless. I remember too because I had to eat so much crow. I was in my corporate office and I was like, me and my friend, we were trying to tell everybody like, yo, 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 buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum. We were buying Ethereum at $80 in Q2 of 2017, and we were trying to tell everybody.
Mm,
And in 2018, because we were so caught up in everything, I went to an ICO pitch for a guy he actually raised in Tokyo. I never forget. He's this Black American guy, and he raised like $16 million for a coin called Zilla, Zilla.
mhm,
And that ended up going nowhere. He made
mhm.
off scot free. He's probably on an island somewhere. um, 2018 was actually one of the worst years of my life. Because I had lost everything. I had lost every single thing. It was devastating. It was depressing. It was a massive blow to my ego. Just a tremendous blow. Um, so yeah, sad to say. I did hold on to my Bitcoin, though I had it, um, but I lost it. I
Oh,
lost it.
okay. So we spoke about 2000, what you were doing in 2017. You had a tremendous bull run. 2018, you lost it. In that same bear market, after the 2017 bull run, let's talk about 2020 because we had COVID. So
Hmm.
already we were in a bear market. We saw downwards action, sideways action, and then in March 2020, COVID hit. Um, Almost the entire world was in lockdown, and Bitcoin fell from 9,200 to 3,800 US dollars. Massive correction, one of the worst in Bitcoin's history. What were you doing at that time? Did you still had conviction in cryptocurrency? Were you buying, or what were you doing?
So I had started when I was in Osaka, I started my YouTube business. It was just uploading videos. But in 2019, I switched to the live streaming format. And I started a show with a business partner that I used to work with in the same company. I quit to do YouTube full time. I was going to shoot for the stars. And then he quit and then he joined me and we started a show called the Tokyo Crypto Show. So for 2019, all 2019, we're like, Bitcoin's going to be big. Bitcoin's coming. Buy Bitcoin now. Buy Bitcoin now. You're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. And then boom, COVID hits, it crashes. And we're having to like explain on the live stream, like, listen,
Gosh.
guys, I know this looks bad, but hear me out. you know, we were ready for the halving because we knew mathematically Bitcoin had to go up, and yeah, we were. I was one of those crazy people that from day one I was like, I don't believe in this COVID crap. Like, I think this is way overblown. I think the governments are overreacting, and I was telling everybody too. I was like, all this money that they're printing, like, we are going to have a massive hangover from this. Like, you guys are getting free money, and the governments in Japan are giving out money. Governments in America are giving out money. The equivalent of $20,000 per business was given out in Japan. They were giving that out in America, just if you had an LLC or a KK here in Japan. And yeah, it was just, oh my gosh, it was devastating. And I had like people making fun of us, calling us crazy, but we stuck to our guns. And the people who believed, we kept on going and we kept on talking and we kept on doing our shows. I bought the dip in summer 2020, and we started to see a little bit of hope coming out of that. Um, and then when the 2020 election came along, my business partner, after the whole Trump, a lot of people didn't think the election was legitimate. And we had seen what was happening. And my friend was like, the business partner that I was working with on the Tokyo crypto show, he was like, you should probably sell your Bitcoin. It's probably going to crash. So I had 10 Bitcoin at the time, and I sold it all in November 2020. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. That was not fun.
No.
I did make a 6-figure acquisition of Ethereum at the time, though. In November, I bought a large amount of Ethereum for like $450 per Ethereum. And then that led us to, 2021, which,
Yeah. So, okay. So from the March 2020, in March 2020, we started to climb out, and we kind of went up into the 2021 bull run. A year later, Bitcoin was retailing for over 60,000 US dollars. I mean, that's epic, absolutely epic. In April 2021, 60,000 US dollars, but then the China FUD hit. And when the China FUD hit, Bitcoin literally cut in half, and it went down to 30,000 US dollars. It ranged before it made its actual all-time high in November 2021.
Yeah.
It was a double top. Were you expecting? Did you know it was going to be a double top? What was your experience of the 2021 bull run?
So at the time, I was heavily defaulting to my business partner, who I thought was an expert at the time. He's no longer my business partner now, but I was defaulting to him, and he was just saying, we're entering a super cycle. We're going to have these elongated cycles, and we're going to have these. He was buying into all this crap that he read on Twitter. And I'm a good friend. So I just was like, okay, because how we handled it was I talked, I basically took his intense technical talk and broke it down for the average person. And I handled all the marketing and stuff that we did for, the courses we were selling and stuff like that. But I thought that we were going to go into this super cycle, and I thought that, oh my God, it was terrible, because I thought all this was going to happen. So I ran my portfolio up to $1.7 million. And again, I lost a large majority of that.
Was that in April, or was that actually in November?
That was, I had to force him to come to the realization that the market was over in late quarter one, 2022. But it was already too late. It was already too late, princess. I was depressed for like 4 months, because I was in March of 2021, going back to what you were saying. That's the first time I'd ever become a millionaire. And I was like, I'm a millionaire. I am a 34-year-old millionaire. And I was elated. I was like, nobody could tell me anything. And at the time, I think, a lot of people were making money too. My courses for my business were making money. I was making, there were months I was like, if I made 6 figures in a month, it was like, yeah, whatever, no big deal. Just another day in the life. Right. So you can't really see it, because you're high on dopamine. All this money's coming in, your alerts on your phone are popping up, the markets are roaring. You can't think straight. You are literally high on dopamine. You are like a junkie, and you're like, I was in extreme phases of mania, really, because I was just consistently making money, because I had started allocating in 2019. The first loss was selling all my Bitcoin in 2020, November. Luckily, I personally made an acquisition of Ethereum, and we knew that Ethereum was going to be the coin, because the market cap was lower. We just knew, okay, Bitcoin was the run for 2017. 2021, it's Ethereum, because Ethereum was starting out really, really cheap, and then Ethereum ran up to $550 billion, so we were like king of the world again. But then the elongated cycles and all this, 3 Arrows Capital, this scammer telling all this to people, these super cycles are coming and for real. And it's just hard, you're just BitBoy. There's all these crypto influences, Alex Becker, everybody's out there, telling you these things. And then that's when I realized at the end of all that, that a lot of these people really just don't know what they're talking about. Like, which led me to my current trading strategy now, which is purely based upon mathematics and market data. Period. No hopium, no, bull posting, none of this like we're all gonna make it nonsense. Like, let's be honest, crypto's a zero-sum game. For me to make money, I have to buy something and sell it to somebody at a higher price, and they're hoping it's going to go to a higher price. So it's like a game of hot potato to a degree, right? Um, I'm 38 now, and I'm a lot wiser, lot more smarter, and all it cost me was losing a couple millions of dollars between the two bull runs to finally get it together. So here we are.
Okay, so for anyone who's not aware, after the November 2021 peak where we went up to 69,000 US dollars, Bitcoin again slid into a bear market. Now in bear markets, even fundamentally strong projects go to zero. Like we had, although these were not fundamentally strong projects, but we had 3 Arrows Capital, we had Celsius, we had Voyager, we had FTX, we had Luna. We had massive black swan events, one after the other. And it was very, very difficult for everyone. And just like you're saying, a lot of people realized too late that we were in a bear market. So when exactly did you realize that we were in a bear market? You did touch upon it a little while ago. So when did you realize we were in a bear market? How did you realize we were in a bear market? And how did you position yourself knowing we were in a bear market?
So during this time, I helped my business partner come up with a crypto education program. And in the second year, we did several $1 million in sales. And so his sales were going strong, but then I noticed the sales data was tapering off. And then as the sales data was tapering off, so was the price of Bitcoin. And, as always, Bitcoin, it arcs and it comes down, and then the alts kind of trail after it to a higher degree, but trail after it. It all started when I lost about $200,000 investing in Tomb Finance. Do you remember Tomb Finance? Good for you. Good for you.
I've never
I
heard of
lost
it.
it. I lost that. And when you lose $200,000, you kind of snap out of whatever mania you're in, right? And then I looked at the rest of my portfolio. My business partner and this other guy too, they were so obsessed with Celsius. But then I had noticed there was so many problems with Celsius.
Mm.
Customer support was terrible, and nobody really dug into the history of Alec Mashinsky. He's like a serial like con artist. And I remember I was talking trash to him on Twitter, and he blocked me. And then I started doing some digging, and then Luna crashed, and then Celsius happened. The price wasn't recovering. But my business partner started linking up with this other guy who was involved in the Hex community, and those people are lunatics. And they had just done a crypto course launch, and they just made a bunch of money. And so again, they're high on dopamine. They can't see the reality of the market situation because they had just done a large, multiple six-figure launch. And I had to like sit them both down and be like, guys, it's over. And I was so mad because I had remembered dropping the ball in 2017. And I'm like, dude, Jonathan, you idiot. You did it again. You fumbled a $1.7 million bag. And I had to tell them, I was like, guys, this is not coming back. Like, look at the charts. This is all bad. Like, the data is showing like we're broken trend lines. Everything's bleeding out, scams left and right. The FTX stuff was starting to unravel. I was like, guys, this is it. It's over. And I had to force them to come to grips with it. And luckily, Ethereum, if you remember, late early quarter to late quarter one, Ethereum pumped up again to like 3,000. Thank God I was able to get some money out around
Mm.
there.
Mm.
Um, but it wasn't the 1.7 million that I lost.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we bottomed out, I think it was in November 2022 at
Mm.
15,000 US dollars.
Yeah.
We went sideways for a little bit as well. Did you buy the bottom?
I did not. I was
Realize we were bottomed out?
I was so this led into me having a falling out with that business partner and getting him out, I mean, kicking them out of my life and just
Mm.
restarting from the bottom because some other things had surfaced that I found out was going on that I couldn't be part of. And because I'm a big person about integrity and I do only good and honest business. And I'm a good and honest man. I'm not a bad person at all. And I just can't be associated with that kind of stuff. I was really disillusioned. I'm not even joking. I mean, Princess, I was that haunted me from 2021 all the way into like 2022. Like I was severely depressed from like March to like July. I gained a lot of weight. I eat my feelings. I don't drink or, party and stuff when I'm sad. I just eat pizza. I gained like 4, 5, 6 kilos. I was just sad fat man who had lost his money. Um, what really caught my attention again, I put my money into reserves. I had a nice little nest egg saved aside. But what caught my eye to bring me back into things was October of 23. Price action started in October 23.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God. And I started really digging and digging. I was like, okay, there's a chance. And as I told you, I knew that Bitcoin, due to the market cap, to take way much more money to pump it up right now. Like we're only reason we're at all-time
Mm.
highs right now is because BlackRock and they just dumped $800 million yesterday alone, all the ETFs into it. And then leading up to the United States presidential election, BlackRock and them, I believe, put about $4 billion in the month of October alone. So I knew that it's going to take a lot of money to move Bitcoin and it's going to take a lot of money to move Ethereum. So I started looking at projects and I started looking at Solana. And this is going to sound like I'm lying and I'm trying to sound cool, but I was looking into memes in 2023 of October and 2023 of November and December. And I started looking for good memes then because I saw what Elon Musk did in 21 with Doge. And
Okay.
then I saw how Shiba Inu came along, and then Shiba Inu is a cabal coin. People seem to forget that, but how Shiba Inu came along and made people hundreds of millions of dollars.
Mhm.
And I remember one of my friends. He's an Air Force pilot, and he flies the jets in the United States Air Force. And he told me he was involved with crypto, and he was part of our course. And he told me he's like one of my generals is like one of the higher ranking people in the United States military. He said, my general pulled me in the office. He said, hey, he's like, so I've heard you're involved in cryptocurrency. He's like, my friend thought he was in trouble. He thought the government was going to be like, this is a clearance problem. You can't do it. And this general, I think he was like a 3-star general, 5 stars the max. And he was like, I need some help. He's like, I just bought some Shiba Inu. And I was like, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. I was like, are people really this dumb? Are people really this uneducated on cryptocurrency? But that was an eye-opening moment for me,
Yeah.
Princess. It was incredibly eye-opening moment. And I was like, you're joking. This guy's an officer of the United States military. And so I look at crypto now as a game of multiplication. Buy low as possible, and sell high. And this is going to sound a little mean or whatever, but now I use what I studied in psychology to predict the behavior of the average person, kind of like the average idiot who would just go in and be like, oh, Dogecoin is this, and it's probably going to go to $10 because they just feel that way. And I started looking into memes, and I realized I was looking at Say. I don't know if you remember, like Q4 last year, like Say was really hot, and Say was the up and coming thing. So I bought into their Saiyan meme coin at launch. I bought it for like 0.006, and that went up to 2 cents, and I made a quick 5 figures. I was like, oh my god, I'm right. And so then I started digging around, and I made some acquisitions in December. I ended up buying some Solana meme coins. I'll tell you about it off air. But I bought some. I'll say one. I bought Whiff. I bought Whiff when it was 22 cents, and Whiff obviously just had its Coinbase listing. Had a massive Binance listing on March of this year, peaking on March 31st, about like $4.50 ish. And I was like, no way. I knew that the ETF was going to be approved because I know BlackRock runs the world. And if BlackRock says
Mhm.
jump, the whole world says hi. How high,
Yeah.
master? Right. And so I was like, there's no way they're going to get it. They're going to get disapproved, like not approved. So I was like, I'm going to make my acquisitions. And I made all my acquisitions in December. And then the BlackRock the ETFs themselves hit, and then Grayscale starts dumping from day one and trashing the price. I was like, oh no. I was like, here we go again, Jonathan. Another big flop, another big failure for you to wear on your face. But I was like, no, listen, these things take time. Grayscale is dumping every single day. And I saw BlackRock and Grayscale were like equivalently dumping and buying. I was like, this is probably a changing of hands. And thank God I have a friend he's the director of finance of a Fortune 100 company. He's managed hundreds of millions of dollars. He's 49 years old. He's a really smart guy. And he was just telling me, he's like, be patient. He's like, the most money is made for those who wait. He's like, you're not going to trade your way to millions of dollars. You buy and you hold and you wait. You make sure you have good assets, you buy and you hold. And he kept on saying this one thing. He's like, Jonathan, listen, it's a whole new asset class. He's a whole new asset class. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to believe this guy. He's older than me. He's made more money. I'm going to shut up and listen, be a good student. And here we are. All-time high, 94,400 and 94,526 as of right now. So we're all rich. We're all rich.
Yeah, we touched upon this off air just a while ago. We were both talking about Michael Saylor. We love Michael Saylor, but we're not so happy that he's buying up literally all the supply of Bitcoin. You've now mentioned, obviously, BlackRock's doing it, and a lot of institutions are coming in. America said that it's looking to buy lots and lots of Bitcoin as well. About the ETFs, do you think they're a good thing?
Yes, absolutely. Because we need that boomer money, and and this is what his name is James, the director of finance. So James is is a great friend of mine and a great mentor, and he's telling me what's happening now. He was telling me before. He's like, you don't understand. He was calling me idiot. He's like, you don't understand, idiot. He's like, pensions are going to buy Bitcoin, firefighter pensions, state pensions. Pensions are going to buy Bitcoin, 1% allocation here, 1% allocation here, but they're going to buy it and tuck it away. He's like, that's permanently locked in. People don't touch their pensions. He's like, there is going to be a compounding effect, and we are going to hit a supply crunch, which is where we're heading right now. I watch a guy called Invest Answers on YouTube. I don't know if you watch him. His name is James too, but he did a video a couple days ago, and he says like the OTC desk where BlackRock and all of them are buying, they're buying off market, right? They had about 400,000 Bitcoin in reserve in June. That is now down to 150,000 at the time that he mentioned this. And then Michael Saylor yesterday just bought 50,000 Bitcoin himself. So as you know, there was an MIT presentation where he really broke it down perfectly, how mathematically speaking, there's going to be an overcorrection because of the supply crunch due to the halving, and then there's going to be an overcorrection downwards as well. And then we're going to reach equilibrium somewhere around 2028 when the next halving hits, and then we go all over again. So I knew that the supply crunch was already built in through the halving, but the ETFs are accelerating this. And this is going to cause the price to go up. Like it inevitably has to go up. There is no ands, ifs, or buts about this. This is a mathematical absolute condition that is going to be met. These OTC desk is set to run out, best case scenario, by April, probably sooner. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit $100,000 this week. Because, November 28th, the big day in Bitcoin, when we every year, November 28th of the halving, that's when we're set parabolically to go into the parabola stage. And right now, as you can see, the price of Bitcoin is all-time highs as of right now. And the math is adding up. I was betting big on this happening and the Trump victory coming into play. And then our strategy was Trump is going to win. They're going to cut rates right after he won, which they did. And I'm pretty sure they're going to cut rates on the 17th, 18th meeting in December as well. So I think we're going to have a very, very Merry Christmas, Princess. I built a gingerbread house yesterday from scratch. I'm happy.
Yeah. And then going back to the supply shock, there's less than 2 million Bitcoins on exchanges right now. So it's going to be a massive supply shock. Massive.
Yes.
Yeah. So this bull run. Yep. Carry on.
Go ahead. Ladies first. Sorry, I'm a rambler. Sorry.
I was going to say this bull run could be like the 2017 bull run. Let's hope so.
Yeah, I'm ready. No, because I've been tracking that on Glassnode. How you can the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges is all-time low right now. The smart people at the top, us peasants, we don't know anything. The ones at top know, and I follow because we live in a digital age where we can see the actions of the elites and stuff to a degree, and they're buying and they're not selling. And this is a scarce asset. And Michael Saylor has been shouting into the internet since 2020 about this. People mocked him during the whole bear market, but who's laughing now? And once we get to this supply crunch, I think we're going to max out at probably 200K max. But here's the thing. So Cynthia Loomis is a senator from Wyoming. That's the least populated state in the United States of America, but really tax-friendly jurisdiction. And she presented in late of July the Bitcoin Act of 2024. And President Trump already said he's going to sign it within his first 100 days of administration. What this is set to do is the United States government is going to set a strategic Bitcoin reserve where the United States government will acquire no more than 200,000 Bitcoin per year starting in 2025 and finishing in 2029. If that is to go through Congress and get passed, which the United States government now has the most pro-crypto Congress, the most pro-crypto House of Representatives, and the first ever presidential candidate that actually ran as a pro-crypto president. Because in 2017, Donald Trump was bad-mouthing crypto. He was bad-mouthing Bitcoin, right? So now he's on board. So if that's going to happen, it's a mathematical certainty because this is a finite resource. And again, BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world. BlackRock knows exactly what they are doing. BlackRock doesn't buy something on Friday to make a little profit on Monday. They are playing the multi-year, they're playing the decade game. And BlackRock doesn't make mistakes. And I'm following the money, and the money's after Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up. So not everything. Ethereum's kind of struggling right now, but you know what I'm saying. The majority of things do go up. We're big Solana fans right now. We are actually predicting, because Ethereum's having some trouble with the gas fees and everything, and Solana is just lightning fast. And we call it the Solana casino because everybody's gambling on the meme coin. And in order to gamble with these meme coins, you need Solana. That's the ticket to enter to the casino. And I mean, we have upwards projection of $1,000 per Solana. We think that Solana could flip Ethereum because Ethereum should have way more price action than it's having now. But if you look at the Ethereum BTC chart, it's actually been trending down really badly for quite some time. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, Princess. I know you love Ethereum, so sorry.
I love the technology. So I actually got into crypto because of the money, but
Mhm.
now I'm so passionate about blockchain technology and the technology behind it, and also the spirit of the spirit of Bitcoin as well, and the spirit of DeFi. So just very quickly, I know you're a very, very successful crypto YouTuber. You do have your dating side of YouTube, and now you've started obviously your crypto side as well.
Mhm.
How do you think how is your audience taking to crypto now?
Um, I would say probably a fourth of my audience is interested. The other 75%, they just want girls, which is fine. I mean, it's what makes the world go round, right? Men do everything for women. That's why we get up and go to the gym and earn money and everything. You know, we want a beautiful woman to settle down with. So they are receiving it well, but I will tell you that the analytics on my crypto show is actually usually the lowest viewership. And because out of the 4 days that I do live streams, like I said, a live stream 5 days a week. Would love to have you on my show, by the way. And we talk about it on Wednesday, crypto show. But now, after Trump won, and we had this rip. I mean, come on, Princess. Like, were you not like, oh my, we blew right through 70K,
Yeah.
blew right through it. And then we pitter pattered a little bit to 80, but then boom, here we are, 94,000, closing in on $100,000 Bitcoin. I have getting people booking me for my one-on-one consultations and saying like, I need to talk crypto. I need to
Yeah.
talk crypto now. So the analytics are picking up. I think 2025 is going to be a fantastic year. Like I said, I'm a very positive, optimistic person, and I think good things are coming to the world. I think what happened with COVID and everything kind of just put everybody in a dark place. Wasn't a good time for anybody. It was like a lot of hopelessness, a lot of like fear and uncertainty. But now we're out of that, and we have a pro crypto president. The vibes in America are really positive. Crypto people love Trump. I don't know if were you tracking the election outcomes on Polymarket? That was
Mhm.
my indicator.
Are you going to focus a bit more on crypto now? Because this is technically a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, um, I'm really, really, really excited for the future because you have crazy people like Elizabeth Warren, you know, saying nonsense about Bitcoin and saying, like, oh, this is terrorist money. And like, let's be honest, lady, like the number one money that terrorists use are United States dollars. Okay. Like, let's just be real right now. They're smearing it, and they're lying about it. And Gary Gensler is a terrible person, and I am so glad he is being replaced by Teresa. I forgot her name, but she's pro crypto person. She's going to be at the head of the SEC, and she's pro crypto. Think about all the chaos and torment that the SEC put Ripple through, and then they're trying to, he wouldn't declare if Ethereum was a security or not. He didn't even know. It's just like, who is this guy? Like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And American people are just fed up with incompetent people being in office, especially in regards to cryptocurrency, when it's so mathematically sound. When you look at the tech, like you mentioned with DeFi, when you look at the mathematical soundness of Bitcoin and the halving. So the landscape is set. I mean, I think we are heading into hyper Bitcoinization because I believe if America, the big thing I'm watching is the Bitcoin Act of 2024. It's the number fourth most looked at bill right now in the United States of America. And I think the number one is something related to Social Security or something. But number four is that. And that was just introduced in July. And if that is passed, what America does, a lot of countries copy. And if we start doing a Bitcoin reserve, this is going to be like a new arms race. Like when America and Russia were doing the arms race, getting a bunch of nuclear bombs. The new nuclear bomb, I think, is Bitcoin, and it's not just going to be Russia. It's going to be China. It's going to be Japan. I mean, look at Germany. They have realized how much they just messed up
Yeah.
right now recently, selling all that for $1 billion loss. Um, so I'm optimistic about the future, and this has given me a renewed sense of optimism regarding cryptocurrency after my turbulent past.
So this was actually going to be my last question to you. you've been in 2 bull runs. Unfortunately, you haven't been able to keep your bags. You've done round trips with your bags. What are you going to do different this time round?
Uh, I have a plan and I am ready for everything. Listen, this is the first year of my life I've gotten gray hairs, and this from stress. I'm a very healthy guy. I take care of myself. I eat all my nutrition's right. I'm up around the clock. I'm up 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. usually. I'm looking at the markets. I'm looking at the markets on my screen right now as I talk to you. That's why I know the price of Bitcoin right now. And I have a team. I'm no longer referring everything to one person. I have a 15-person research team assembled from the members of my community. I just said quickly to everybody, I put out an announcement to community, say, if you've made $100,000 in Bitcoin cryptocurrency or more, reach out to me. We're having an interview process. We're putting together a team. And I have 15 bright, intelligent, dedicated, good people around me. We have an expert who is building mining facilities. He is building mining facilities in Siberia. Okay. He's doing a lot of work with the Russians. He gives us data straight from the miners. We have a technical charts analysis guy. We have a TradFi guy, James, my mentor. He tells me everything we need to know from a TradFi perspective. He just explained the Bitcoin option situation to us the other day because we're all, idiots when it comes to that. Quite frankly, he broke it down for us. We have a blockchain developer in there. We have a couple of crypto guys, like deep crypto knowledge people, who we're tracking the AI trend right now. How,
Yeah.
like with Goat, Cerebro, and it's a crass name, but Fartcoin, it sounds crazy, I know, but these we track a lot of things with Kato AI. Are you familiar with that software?
I'm not. No. What is that? Is that?
So Kato AI, what it does is it allows you to track what is called the mind share of cryptocurrency on Twitter. So it aggregates all of the data on Twitter, and then it tells you how popular things are, how things are being talked about, and what everybody's talking about. And it is phenomenal software. I could show you offline. I could screen share now if you want to see it, but I don't know if you know how to do that. But
We'll do it offline. It's fine.
okay, it's phenomenal software. And like I said, I am traumatized from what has happened to me in the
Yeah.
past. So I have learned from 4 years of the previous bull market haunting me. So really, what is it? Like I got in October. Yeah, 8 years. 8 years. Coming up in December here, it's going to be 8 years. So 8 years of, you know, success and failure. We have everything in place now, and we're not, I'm hearing people talking about a super cycle now, and I get PTSD when I hear super cycle. I'm like, oh my God, like, no, we are predicting another double top, probably March and then Q4 again. Because historically speaking, the Bitcoin is always topped out in quarter 4, right? The halving is usually late quarter 2 ish, and then quarter 4 is typically where it happens. So we're ready. When we've never had at this point in human history, we have never had this much institutional support and governmental support. So, and these institutions, they have, BlackRock spending $1 billion to BlackRock is nothing. It's like a brunch to them, So we have a lot of money coming into this place, and then not even like that's just the current ETFs now. We're not even factoring Goldman Sachs is applying for an ETF. Like there are a lot of other companies. Goldman Sachs was just revealed to have $700 million of the BlackRock ETF, and now they're filing for their own ETFs. The Vanguard CEO had to step down in quarter 2 of this year because they said, "Oh, what Bitcoin ETF? No way! It's not going to make any money." And forever living in the shadow of BlackRock because that guy had to step down after that big mistake. So all the anti-crypto people are being swept under the rug. A lot of I think almost everybody who ran anti-crypto, I
Yeah.
think like 95% of them lost in America in the recent elections. And we have the largest pro-crypto government at any point in human history. America has the largest economy in the world, and America paves the way for a lot of things. So mathematically speaking, that's what I bet things on. And it's a game of probabilities, and the probabilities looking pretty good right now.
The future looks bright for crypto.
It does
It looks
indeed.
bright for you as well. You've got all that experience now.
Yeah,
You've
38
got
years in.
a really good team around you.
Oh, I need them. They keep me grounded. They keep me grounded.
Melody, it was absolutely lovely. It was a pure pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your crypto journey with us. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Please come on my show. There's an open invitation to you.
Thank you.